Capcom's biggest selling franchise is unsurprisingly Resident Evil. With that being said, you would assume they would try and minimize any mistakes or plot holes in the timeline so that Resident Evil, their big moneymaker, can continue to thrive. But this actually hasn't been the case, and it hasn't been for a while, and that's what we're here to talk about today. Resident Evil has an unfortunate history of leaving cliffhangers, only to never expand upon them, or just straight up not acknowledging whole entire plot points. Some examples of this would be Natalia at the end of Resident Evil Revelations 2, or what happened to Billy at the end of Zero. Did he die in the Arclay Forest? Is he still alive and well, living under a new identity? Why has Rebecca not mentioned him even once, even though she appeared several times throughout the franchise, most recently being in Death Island? Death Island takes place after Resident Evil Vendetta, but before Resident Evil 7. These two are just a couple out of many unanswered questions throughout the franchise, and unfortunately, I think they did it again. At the end of Resident Evil Village, we see that the BSAA was using bioweapons as soldiers during the fall of the Village of Shadows. Chris, of course peeved, having dealt with bioterror his whole life basically, and his crew seemingly head to the BSAA headquarters. Now you might think this is a perfect setup for Resident Evil 9. And it is, but they've done this to us before. Once again, teasing Alex to still be alive through Natalia in Revelations 2, Jake's secret cutscene at the end of Resident Evil 6. There's also a bunch of other inconsistencies, like Chris somehow not knowing who Ada was in Resident Evil 6. Back on track, however, I am concerned that Capcom, once again, is going to act like the end of Resident Evil Village didn't happen, and completely ignore the idea of the BSAA using bioweapons, even though that's literally the biggest deal in the franchise. As of currently, anyway. Also, given the leaks for Resident Evil 9, or Resident Evil Apocalypse as it's being called, there is no sign of Chris anywhere so far. I really want to give Capcom the benefit of the doubt here, and say that they wouldn't do this to us again, but honestly I think recently Capcom has been pushing the boundaries of what they can get away with while simultaneously getting the money out of our pockets. For example, removing things like cutscene browsers, Resident Evil 3 Remake as a whole, and not giving us stuff like Assignment Ada in Resident Evil 4 Remake, or Mercenaries in Resident Evil 3 Remake. Obviously Capcom considers these things because Resident Evil 2 Remake has several extra game modes that you can play once you complete the game. It seems to me, like I said earlier, that Capcom is really trying to see what it cannot give us while still receiving our support, and you know what? They're so right, because I'm buying the next Resident Evil game without hesitation, and you are too. But it's kind of concerning to think that Resident Evil 9, possibly Resident Evil's most anticipated title in the entire franchise, could continue to have these glaring mistakes. I'm curious to hear what you guys think down in the comment section below about this, but I think that's going to be all for me. I hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, if you did, hit that like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. Lots of long-form content on the way. Got lots of short-form content on the way. Stay tuned, and I hope to see you down in the comment section below. Let me know what you think. Have a great day. Peace, guys.